4.0, 11 predictions in 10 years for the world of finishing. Number one, in 10 years, we are not going to have any drivers in the trucks that move our materials around. So powder is going to show up at the dock, equipment is going to show up at the dock, customer parts are going to show up at the dock. We're going to finish them and we are going to put them back on the truck, and neither one of those trucks will have drivers. They will drive themselves in 10 years. And inside our plants, all of that driving will be autonomous as well. We won't have fork truck drivers, we won't have forklifts, we're just going to have autonomous vehicles that are moving parts from the dock to the line, back to the dock, back to the next operation, what have you, completely autonomously in 10 years. Number two, using vision systems, robots will load and unload your finishing equipment. Number three, using artificial intelligence and blockchain, your suppliers will know exactly what volume of paint, powder coat, powder, chemistry, and materials to produce, inventory, and ship. So when we think about the challenges that we're having in the supply chain now, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more as we go on, we're going to be able to drive tremendous amounts of waste out of the supply chain using data. Prediction number four, the differentiator between materials suppliers as a result will be who can best predict customer consumption and meet it in real time. So if you're a material supplier to the world of metal finishing, to the world of surface finishing, using AI, using blockchain to figure out what your customers are going to consume and then producing exactly the right amount of material is going to be a huge differentiator between people in that business. Industry 4.0, 11 predictions in 10 years. Number five for our finishers, your supplier's MRP systems will tell your MRP systems that parts are on the way. So now you get the email that says, hey, the parts are going to be there at 11 o'clock tomorrow, or they're going to be there on Monday morning or what have you, and you're emailing back and forth about where are these parts. We're going to have ERP and MRP systems that talk to each other. Number six, Industry 4.0, 11 predictions in 10 years. Your finishing lines will schedule themselves. Finishing lines will schedule themselves. We're already going to know what parts are coming. We're going to know that way in advance. And so because of that, we will be able to have scheduling software that will optimize production schedule. All right, Industry 4.0, 11 predictions in 10 years for finishers. Here is number seven. For process-based manufacturers, and that's us, right? Painters, powder coaters, e-coaters, heat treaters, anybody in a process-based business, titrations, analysis, and material additions will be completed automatically. Prediction number eight, quality defects will be driven to zero using in-process inspection and digital twins. Industry 4.0, prediction number nine, in 10 years, the differentiator between manufacturers will be who can use artificial intelligence in Industry 4.0 to minimize their cost and thus price. Prediction number 10 on our list of 11, as we drive costs down, closest to the customer wins. So the supply chain is just, it's crazy. I had somebody ask me yesterday, I spent the day yesterday with two of our employees who are 25, 26 years old. And they're like, when was the last time the supply chain was this messed up? I'm like, I don't think it's ever been. Certainly not in my career. It hasn't been this messed up. There's 500,000 containers sitting out just off the coast of California. It's 120 million square feet of warehouse space. It's stunning. And so we are learning right now what happens when we have a global supply chain. And we will always have a global supply chain. And in a lot of ways, manufacturing will always seek its lowest cost of manufacturing. But we're also seeing what happens when we have manufacturers that are located a long way away from the people who need the parts. And so what we are going to see is more and more we will have, as we're driving costs down in our operations, the thing that we'll be able to compete on is what is that transportation cost. And the further you are from your customer, the more your cost is going to be relative to other people that are in your space. Industry 4.0, 11 predictions in 10 years. This is the last one. For those of you that are in the business of finishing equipment, people that are building boots, people that are building paint robots, people that are building guns, your differentiator is going to be who can embed the most smart technology on your equipment. When we talk with people about going through an Industry 4.0 revolution, and we can talk about that a little bit later, where do we start with a manufacturing plant? One of the best places to start is with a manufacturer who's already putting this on their equipment and serving the data up to you in a way that you can use it, or maybe even in a lot of cases, analyzing that data for you and then telling you what it's telling them. So if you're in the business of any kind of finishing equipment, the way you're going to differentiate yourself from your competitors in the future is who can gather the most data and provide the most actionable data to your customer using embedded smart technology that arrives in their plant when you deliver the equipment.